No, oh, Aaron loves decorating. Does not, okay? Do you love the food? Yeah! Right. Okay, thanks, Aaron. Do you like the traveling to go maybe to another place, to go visit family?
No.
Like doing that? No.
The Christmas.
Who wants to go see them?
Christmas lights.
You like to go see your family? What else is special about Christmas?
Christmas lights.
What's that?
The Christmas lights.
Oh, lights.
Yeah.
Okay, love those. Yeah. The expectations, kind of like, oh yeah, this is the big time, and it's coming. Okay, good. Carmen, music. Right. Okay.
Nah, it's boring.
Seth, I'm afraid to ask you, but go ahead.
At our age, it gets...
Yeah.
What? Eggnog. Who's eggnog fan? Right?
What is it?
Silk nog.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yes! Finally, somebody! I mean, let's get real for a second. Don't we love to get things?
Yes.
Presents? I mean, don't you like... Okay, why do you go gather underneath a tree? Or maybe you spend time with family and you get together? At some point, there's a lot of present opening, right? And that's an enjoyable
As long as it isn't cold.
Time I was a little kid, that was fun.
They have some at the Dollar Tree.
And now I get older and I'm like, yeah, just give me some hair gel or some socks. Or
You know, dollar store, if you throw a toy up in the air from the dollar store, it lands and busts.
But I still like to open the gift. It's fun. And little kids, we did a toy, I'm also the chaplain for KTSY Radio, and we did a toy drive sort of thing at Eagle Christian, and where we had people come and bring their toys. And I loved all these little kids because they'd bring their toys, but then they'd stand there and they'd look at it. And they just had this look like, oh, I want that. And I want that. It was so cool to see them coming to give toys, but then they had this look on their face. I'm like, that's what it's about right there for these little kids. And some people say, well, that's not what Christmas is about. It's not about getting, it's about giving. And it's about Jesus and His birth. And I say yes, and yes, and yes to everything. I remember my first gift, really. It was a blue swing bike.
Yay.
Right, tires on it, just chrome. It was my first cool bike my grandpa gave it to me. I was excited. I remember that. You probably had that one gift, go back as far as you can remember and go, I love that gift. I remember that one. And then the next big gift for me was the Rubik's Cube. Anyone ever get a Rubik's Cube? Well, they're popular? Come on. Cabbage Patch doll?
Never could do anything with the dang thing.
My Little Pony, I guess it'd be nowadays, or a brat. And some of you maybe got brats when you were kids. Whatever it might be, but these gifts, they kind of build on each other, and I just have memories. I don't know about you, but I have certain memories and certain gifts. And they mean a lot. So when Christmas comes, the getting part to me is fun. And I don't think we have to go, oh, it's not Christmas. It's fun. It's great for you to do. Now, as I look through scriptures and stuff, I realize that you get something more precious all the time. I'm going to have you pull up a verse here. It's Hebrews chapter 4, verse 16. That's what we have. So I got my Bible. In case it comes up, it doesn't come up. One of the most, I'd say, it's a verse that the devil beats people over with at times. Okay? This one here. And I'll explain why in a second. But it's real simple. I'll read it up there. Then let us come near to the seat of grace. The seat, I like that. Without fear, so that mercy may be given to us, and we may get grace for our help in time of need. I'll read it in my version. This is official. Therefore, let us draw near with confidence to the throne of grace, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in times of need. Now, can you stop and think about that for a second? What is grace? Alright, it's unmerited favor. Alright? So stop and think right now that there's this place, he says, we can go confidently to a place of unmerited favor. And what is unmerited favor? Well, it's kind of like this. When I was a kid, my parents tried hard with me, but it didn't work so well. I was a brat. I was a big brat. And didn't get much throughout the year, but when Christmas came, we lived in this trailer, and we'd go out, we'd look at the lights, we'd do those things, and we'd come back, and there were so many presents, it was unbelievable. It was phenomenal. I'm like, where did they even hide this stuff? And it would be packed to the ceiling, it was all over the living room, and we'd go and be like, woohoo! I mean, it was great. But all of this, every year, no matter what, when we opened the presents and we got those things, but they look at me and they say, you know you didn't deserve it.
Wow.
Every year.
Terrible.
And it's like, oh, thanks. Yeah, I know I didn't deserve it. Didn't deserve it at all. And that's what Christmas was like for me when I grew up. Hopefully it was different for you. But realize when you go to this place called grace, there's a seat in it, there's a throne of it, you deserve it. It's unmerited favor. It's for those that didn't deserve it or didn't think they deserved it. And God's like, no. I have a place where you can come when you need favor, when you need acceptance, when you need those things. Now, with that, sometimes people use this verse, and you may know this verse, and you've been a Christian for a long time, because earlier it says when we're tempted that we can go, he's walked in our path, he's done these things, and that in order not to sin and not mess up, this is it right here. So if you're having a trying time, you're being tested, you're being tempted, you know what's right here. And he's walked in your shoes, these are the verses right before, and he will keep you from sinning. Has anyone ever heard that before? Anyone? Oh, I guess I'm the only dude. Alright, okay, so I heard that, I kind of think that, and then after I screw up or do something wrong, and then I always felt bad. I'm like, man, you're right there, you're waiting for me, you're trying to help me. And maybe I didn't come, or it just didn't work, it didn't click for me. Let us draw near with confidence to the throne of grace, this place where you get unmerited favor. Alright? Well, you say, why? Why? Because he knows when you were sleeping. Right? And he knows when you're awake. And he knows when you've been bad or good. And I say that because he also knows when you're not sleeping. Okay? He knows when you're not sleeping. Sometimes you can lay awake at night and you can be frustrated. You can have these rocks you hold on to all day and you can think about them. And think about them. And think about this and think about that. Because he knows when you're not sleeping. And he knows what it's like not to sleep. He knows what's been good. He knows what's been bad. It's real interesting. The verse right before it talks about the Word of God. But what's really neat in that, it says, there is no creature hidden from his sight, but all things are open and laid bare to the eyes of him whom we have to do. Okay? Everything's laid open and is bare. I used to live in a place called Fairfield, Idaho. And in Fairfield, Idaho, there was a sheriff. And the sheriff was driving a snowmobile. And as he was driving, he went into a ditch, which you don't want to do. But in the ditch there was water. And he was soaking wet. He was in the middle of a mountain. Alright? So he's covered. He's just drenched. It's freezing. What are you going to do? What would you do? Let's stop. Alright. Share it. Hold on a second. Share that with yourself. What would you do in that moment? You're freezing. It's you in a snowmobile. You don't have anything else. You're full of water. What are you going to do? Share with your people. Ready?